Okie dokie, let's go jump some rank games with a random character and see what we're gonna get today. And it looks like we are playing the mage, but we do start off with a cupcake, which is kind of awesome actually. Because we can go for cupcake staff extremely early. And we kind of want to go for a heat stacking one. The heat stacking one is going to be awesome. So we need to find a way to get some heats. But we also need to put in our banana. We're going to be stacking up mana because of our scholar bag. That's for sure. Now I kind of also want to grab a whetstone. Definitely do not want to craft up a shepherd's crook. But I'm also looking for a second weapon, and that is going to be fantastic. Now I kind of want to take this out, and I want to add this in for a little bit more of a food item action. But I also want to speed up all the food items by having them next to each other. And I really do want to grab this leather bag. And why the hell am I not putting that in? Because then we can inflict a tiny bit of poison too. And it shouldn't be too bad. Now we could have this in our backpack or in our scholar bag so we can duplicate that mana or have a chance to duplicate it even further. But having this mana isn't really going to help us out too much. The cupcake, every 5 seconds, heal for 10 is kind of nice. Not bad. It is a little bit slow, but it is going to be healing us for quite a bit. Now, puzzle badge is going to be insane because it will speed up our cupcake even faster. So we'll take it and then make sure we have this in our backpack and then buy this. And if we didn't get a little bit of storage, I kind of want to grab the shiny shield because we do have to destroy for 5 seconds. I'm not going to bother rolling anymore. So it's going to be targeting most of your food items and our little tiny hero sword because it has less stamina. Because we want to be inflicting our blinds with our broom, but then we also want to be inflicting our poison with our chipped emeralds. So it should be a decent start. But once we do enter 5 seconds, our cupcake is going to be going 4 seconds, stack up our mana. We also inflict a little bit of poison, a little tiny bit of blinds, and our shiny shell is keeping us definitely enough with that small bit of heal. And our opponent does have battle rage, but we do manage to beat him out. Now we could take mana mastery. Although that is investment opportunity, so we could go infinite heat stacking with infinite max life gains because we're going to be using up a lot of buffs. But we could also go huge big mana bombs with mana mastery too. So what should we go for? This is on sale. I actually want to go for investment opportunity today. But let's take it. Let's grab a bit of storage. Let's also grab this because this is going to use up our mana. It's also going to give us more HP. And then we're going to roll again. You want to go for piggy banks for more monies? I think we can kind of afford to be super greedy. And I'm going to save our 2 extra golds. And this should be kind of nice. Now this is where we could use our cupcake inside our backpack because we do have a use for mana. But honestly, we're not going to be able to use up all the mana that we're going to have with our magic for dummies. But it's going to scale up our max life and it's also going to scale up even more. So our little tiny bit of poison can chip down opponents. But they're also going at max life stack. But with our puzzle badge, this is going every 3 seconds. While theirs still goes at every 5 seconds. Well, this also gives us 4 maximum health on top of our maximum health. So we should be able to stack up more max life eventually than our opponents when our cupcake, our banana, and our garlic keeps us in it. Now poison is just whittling down our opponents because it is that kind of compounding damage. So not bad. Now corrupted crystal on sale is kind of nice because we could be inflicting fatigue damage, which honestly I'm going to be down for. More storage though please, and we go for a box of riches. Lump of coal so we can maybe get some burn eventually. I'm super tempted to grab the box of riches though. We get more gemstones. But the lump of coal might be the right... I'm going to be greedy. I'm going to take the box of riches and we're going to move on once again. And the fatigue is going to help us. The problem with fatigue though is it is a flat damage. The only way to increase it is by increasing the speed, and holy moly, we're not surviving this. Our opponent has way too much DPS in us because of this Amber Darkness with their weapons. Yeah, we got smashed into a million pieces. Now we could also go for a Cupcake Goobert of all things. Instead, we could go Falcon Blade Cupcake Gooberts, go infinite heat stack in this way. I mean, it does heal for 35, which is a lot of heals. I mean, doesn't it seem kind of awesome? But a Cupcake Staff with the investment opportunity would be a lot better for us. But I kind of want to take it. And now we need to sort out our inventory. So we'll be back in a second while we do that. But I'm also going to have to grab a little bit of storage. I'm just contemplating on whether we want a fanny pack. I kind of do, but I also just kind of want to grab the leather bag because it's going to be a lot more storage for us. But let's grab the fanny bag. And it does give us a puzzle bag of love, which honestly, this is a bag that I do want to grab. Because we could end up going for Staff of Unhealing with the Cupcake Gooberts. But let's think about venture on with this sort of situation. Investment opportunity up like so, we should be able to craft up our Cupcake Gooberts. And we should be able to use our investment opportunity to give us a huge max life increase with our Magic for Dummies. While our Puzzle Badge is starting off slow, if we face an opponent that does start off strong with a bunch of flat damage, we could be in trouble. We kind of just want to outstride our opponents the best we can by stacking up our HP, our max health, our heals with our Gooberts, and just inflicting that fatigue damage. Because once we get to fatigue, they're going to be taking a lot more fatigue damage than us. So there's just more chippy damage, along with the poison as well, the blind to delay our opponent from hitting us and smashing. And just like that, we're going to get our Cupcake Gooberts. And we could also grab the Dark Frenzy to speed everything up again. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, I'm going to take the Puzzle Bag of Love because that will literally give us a ton of heals. And I will be taking the Dark Frenzy and a little bit more poison stacking overall. And I'm just going to roll. And you are going to be using our mana to duplicate our mana, so you could be kind of nice. Maybe. But do we want to be stacking up so much mana? I mean, with our investment opportunity, we kind of do. But we do got our Dark Frenzy in, which will be inflicting a little bit of blind on ourselves. We don't really cleanse it, so this could be a bit of trouble, but we are speeding up our max life along with our fatigue, along with our Owlspear Companion, and we're going to see if this is going to pay off. Because inflicting this fatigue is actually going to be extremely awesome for us. Potentially. But we don't necessarily really need accuracy if we're going for Staff of Unhealing. And fatigue also. This is going to be triggering every 3.4 seconds. It's going to be triggering every 2.5 seconds. We're stacking up crazy amounts of mana, so we might as well use it. With our Magic for Dummies also. So we can scale up max life infinitely, inflict a little bit of poison, tiny bit of blinds, and also have this Corrupted Crystal just deal that fatigue damage. Now it is only 9 damage, 10 damage. It's slowly scaling up and smashing. But it does take a long time to scale up in damage. Now here's the thing, we could go for Null Blade. Do we want to go for Null Blade? I mean, I kind of want to go for Staff of Unhealing with this fella, so I'm going to take you as well as a fanny pack. And I kind of want to take this too, but I'm going to roll once. Set Blue Brace is exactly what he wants. It's Gemstone 2. We could go for another Cupcake Gooberts, but I'm going to let it go. Now maybe we want to transition into a Hunger Blade instead of our Hero Sword. Yeah, so we definitely want to grab the Hunger Blade, but I do not want to get rid of a Broom. But we might leave it as it is for now. And grab it in the next rounds. We could grab another Magic for Dummies. Maybe do want to grab it because that's going to be more max life as well. We can use it with an investment opportunity. And we got our Blessing Purity in to cleanse that little bit of blind on us, but also gives us more heals. Because with our Dark Frenzy, we're going to speed up as well. Our opponent does have a lot of damage with this Falcon Blade and their Goobert. They're going to get tons of heat. They're going to get lots of accuracy and damage with that Eye Lamp. But can we keep up with them? With all our max life stacking, with our Cupcake Goobert, give us your heals. Maybe. And when I say maybe, it does not look like so. They have crazy heat, and unfortunately, yeah, we got our ass beat this round. But what should we go for? Well, we're going to go for Staff of Unhealing, so it means we have to go Rainbow Potion, so that's exactly what we're going to take. We did get a Magic Staff, which we're probably going to take for now too. We're going to have to grab this too, which is going to be nice with a Rainbow Pot. And we don't necessarily need to keep this anymore, so we're going to sell you. And I kind of want to take another Magic for Dummies, but we are going to be running through mana like there's no tomorrow. Are we still going to go for it? I think so. A little bit of poison, a little bit of stamina, and we are going to move on. I'm hoping that we craft up a Mana Thirst potentially. But we just start off with a little bit of power thanks to our Rainbow Pot. We should be able to stack up. Actually, we're going to be stacking up in power with our Cupcake Goobert, since we used up a lot of mana with our Magic Staff. So this is just going to be a lot of damage between both our weapons, and it's not terribly bad. We do want to be stacking up our mana, but I can't complain. And power is in power. It's going to be a lot of DPS for us, and we're going to be smashing out this Ranger no problem at all. Now we could also go for a Death Lotus, which will give us mana and remove buffs, so we can guarantee that we stack up our mana. I think we just grab our Hunger Blade, take out this. Not sure if we do really want that. I think I'm just going to leave it as it is. Now use your HP to give us our mana. You can also go for Coldmare. Since you're on sale, I'm going to grab you for now. And that is our Unhealing. And I would like to get an insane amount of heat from the get-go. Now, if we sell this, you sell for 5. You sell for 4. And we need to sell just a little bit more. Maybe this tiny little blue gemstone and this Unhealing. And that's going to be amazing. We're going to take out a Magic for Dummies, and we definitely want to go for heats. Heat stacking, Staff of Unhealing, Cupcake Goobert type situation. Because the faster we get going, the more we can get this to heal, the more damage we deal with our Staff of Unhealing. Yeah, that's going to be our game plan today. Also, we do not have our Corrupted Crystal in. Do we even want this in? I think right now I kind of want to sell it, although maybe not actually. But let's get going once again. So we're going to be using our Encyclopedia Darkness so we can get our mana stacked up even faster. It is going to use up more of our HP, but that's why we do have our Cupcake Gooberts. And we should be able to deal, our Cupcake Goobert is going to be dealing that damage as just crazy damage. Literally insane for us. And that is Mana Mastery, so we can go infinite mana stacking if we want to. But we did kind of want to go for heat stacking. So By the Holy Light would be awesome with our holy items. They speed these up again and again. But if that's something we really want, we could go for a bunch of prismatic orbs, which will be healing items if we grab more blessing purities, which do heal us. Because shielded I do not really care about. Or we could try to gamble in hopes that we get ourselves false life. Let's gamble a little bit. And we got Bagtacular. Honestly, not great for us. That's the Staff of Fire. Let's grab our heats. Let's roll again. We got to grab our storage. Let's keep going. And that's more heats. Is it time to get rid of our Box Riches? I mean, Box Riches is fantastic. So let's sell our piggy bank with this too, and let's grab more heat stacking for us. I'm also going to sell the garlic because I do want to craft up another burning coal. And we need more heats, to be honest. I'm going to also sell this to keep rolling. And that is a mana orb. Do we want the mana orb though? I mean, this scales up our mana for us either way. So I'm not going to take it. I'm also going to sell the screen gemstone to keep rolling. And that's heat with a fanny bag. And that should be smashing. We might need to get rid of a Hunger Blade next rounds, because we're going to have crazy amounts of heats. We're already at 6 heats, so it's not going to take us too long to start going infinite on heat stacking with our Cupcake Goobert and then just activating our Cupcake Goobert even faster. And look at this, we're actually keeping up with Crossblades, Fancy Rapier, and smashing. Not bad at all. Now speaking of smashing, there's a Prismatic Orb. And the reason to take this is because every holy item is going to use more healing efficiency. And this is where By the Holy Light would have been awesome, especially with eye lamps, because they turned them into holy items, which would have been fantastic. So yeah, we're going to take our Dragon Egg. Now the thing is, eye lamps are fantastic and all, but if we don't have one on a weapon because they don't target our Staff on Healing, they're not going to do a whole lot for us. But they can still activate, although this will be a lot faster. So we should be able to get our heats. We're going to grab the fanny pack as well, and we might have to get rid of this Hunger Blade for this Prismatic Orb. Yeah, so I'm going to sell the Hunger Blade. I'm also going to sell this gemstone, and I do want to craft up this helmet. You have discomforts and also increase your healing as much as possible with some red gemstones, and we are going to move on. So we got a bunch of eye lamps in that aren't really going to do anything for us, but we got our heats, so our Cupcake Goobert can just go fast. We can just keep stacking up our healing and deal on healing damage like crazy. Potentially, but they do get that invincibility. They got a lot of cold on us, but again, we're stacking up our heats and just trying to get this Cupcake Goobert going insanely fast. But can we keep up with him? 50 cold on us, 70 blinds. Blind doesn't matter at all to us because our Staff on Healing doesn't actually need accuracy. It was down to our Cupcake Goobert dealing all that damage. But they just have insane amounts of invincibility. Now we're actually almost getting a big mana bomb. And we are stacking up mana once again with our Cupcake Goobert, which is not ideal. We do end up stacking up way too much mana. But that is 111 colds on us. And we are still keeping up. And that fatigue is actually chipping down opponents. I mean, fatigue is looking actually fantastic for us. Just a little bit. And it is looking neck and neck, and we just need that little fatigue chip to beat them. And they got blocked at 1 second. That block saved our opponent so much. His ice block saved them. That was extremely unfortunate. But at least we got a cap discomforts, and we're going to get this too, and we are going to roll like crazy, and we could get some colds. And with life, which is crazy that we managed to roll that, and that is another Cupcake. The only thing about the Prismatic Orb is, this is going to stack up more mana. Yeah, that's kind of dicey about it, so. I still want to box riches, but I kind of want to sell our little Star of Courage and its green gemstones so we can take this too and place that in. Increase your healing efficiency like crazy. Well, let's say crazy. 4%. And yeah, we're going to be moving on. Once we get our Cupcake, we have the potential to get even more heat stacking. Maybe. Hoping that we can use up a lot more mana for ourselves, to be honest. We can get our heat stacked up and this is looking so much better for us. And it's not going to be close whatsoever. Hell yeah. Now we could put all our eye lamps on our ruby orb, which we're definitely going to go for. And we could go for another Dark Frenzy with another helmet. Honestly, some fantastic options. Yes, we want to take the Dark Frenzy, and we definitely want to speed up our Staff of Unhealing as much as possible. So we'll use up a lot more heats in general. We're going to have to place it in here. We're going to have to take our helmet and our cupcake, and we need to roll looking for a ton of storage, which we do get. But is there any way we can really afford it right now? Because we kind of need to grab it this round. Not exactly. Bagtacular isn't even really going to be in either. We have to take out our cupcake. Yeah, we need the rest of this stuff. But let's get going. So our Dark Frenzy this side is going to speed up our Ruby Whelp. We're going to be flicking a lot of blind on ourselves, but at the same time, we're also going to increase our accuracy on our Ruby Whelp. Now we got stunned out the gate from this chessboard, which is kind of madness. So they're going to stack up a lot of buffs on the Bloodthorn. Going to deal massive damage, going to have some big crits, and they have reduced their healing by the same amount. So this opponent is going to counter us completely. Really tough opponent to be facing. However, we could go for a Vampiric Devouring Spear, but yeah, we're not going to be going for that. We're going to be taking a Fanny Pack, speeding this all up again, and we're going to keep rolling, and that is another Dark Frenzy. How fast can we get everything going? Hopefully too fast. That's all we really want. We probably need to speed up our Banana Den as well. We add this in to reduce that healing a little bit further. Add in another one. We sell a Green Gemstone to go ahead and take this as well. And then we might want to add in a set of blueberries. We want to be careful though, because we do not want to be stacking up too much mana for ourselves. Now they're going to be inflicting a lot of blind on us, and this lightsaber is going to deal massive damage because we're going to be turbo inflicting blind on ourselves. So this could be hugely problematic for us. But as long as we can get our heat stacking going, it shouldn't be too much of a problem for us. Especially if we keep increasing our healing efficiency, which is exactly what we want, and not bad. Now how much DPS do we manage to get? We do have 69 healing per second, that's nice. 40 damage per second, which is not too crazy. And I forgot to check how much max life we do have. 20 max life gain per second from an investment opportunity and a magic for dummies. And in terms of block, not a whole lot of block. But I do think we have the potential to definitely move on with this. Now I kind of want to take the Mana Orb with the storage too. And we're going to keep rolling. Red rubies, exactly what we want. More of these blessing purities is exactly what we would need as well. And we kind of need to grab this also. I'm not sure if we want to keep this Mana Orb. I think I kind of want to sell it. And I really want to put our blessing purities beside our prismatic orb, but they're going to stack up mana because they're mana items too. Yeah, let's sell this with a little topaz, and let's actually craft up another Captain's Comforts. But this owl really isn't doing a whole lot. It's just trying to duplicate the Cupcake Staff's heat, which is exactly kind of what we want. It also helps us get more mana, which is kind of nice. But opponents is going to get the invincibility. It doesn't matter too much as long as we keep healing up. We do have 50 increased healing as well. And we're going to start stacking up our heat too. And not bad. Cupcake Gooberts actually look kind of insane for us. Now that is a lot of healing reduction. But I do want to craft up these red gemstones. But I also just want to get more heats. So I'm going to be taking another Dragon Egg. Might as well grab the Fanny Pack for now, and let's keep rolling. More healing reduction if we want to. This red rubies is all we really necessarily actually want. Now you're going to be more mana if we want a Cupcake, and we'll be gladly taken also. Let's try to speed up the staff healing even more. And yeah, we're going to be moving on. We could take another Encyclopedia of Darkness, but I don't want to be using up more of our HP. But can we face this Excalibur? We do have 60% of healing down. They're going to be scaling up max life with the cheeses. They're going to get invincibility. And they're going to be trying to go for heat as well. So this is definitely going to be an interesting builds. But can we get off the ground running? We do nullify a lot of the buffs. And they do resurrect with their Dark Lantern, giving them time to actually go crazy. They have a lot of max life, but we're getting their heat and we're triggering it faster and faster. And you know what? This is actually looking kind of insane. Not bad once again. Now we can just grab more Dragon Eggs. More red rubies is exactly what we want. Dragon Egg is just more heat from the get-go, reflecting debuffs, so debuffs don't matter to us. The more heat we get off the start, the better. Let's grab our Cupcake, and that's more speed. Now how the hell are we going to freight in this ruby egg? Do we sell our box riches? I mean, how likely are we going to get more red rubies? Probably not a whole lot, if I'm going to be honest. Yeah, I'm going to sell our box riches, and I'm going to add this in over this side. This needs to be put in as well, and we kind of need to move this over so we can have more cupcakes in to get more heals from it. And we're going to take another Dark Frenzy to speed everything up again. More blind too though. I'm going to sell this to go ahead and take it, and we are just going to venture on once again. 3 dragon eggs. There's going to be a lot of heat, and they're going to be reducing our healing, so we need to beat down this opponent pretty fast. Because eventually we're going to be shut down in all our heals. So can we win out? Maybe not. This opponent could potentially beat us out because they have a lot of poison on us. Our healing is slowly decreasing. Our DPS is definitely decreasing. Overall, once we get down to minus 100%, we're not going to be healing anymore, and that poison is going to chip us down, and it's super close. Can we get there? Just a couple more seconds, and we just barely didn't make it. Just kind of madness. Let's roll again. Any mana orbs? Definitely not. These are amazing, actually. I kind of want to grab a storage, but I kind of want to keep rolling. More max life stacking if we want to. Another prismatic orb on sale. I mean, can we afford to actually stack these on top of each other? Because this will give us more healing efficiency. It's going to give us more mana, which is not ideal, but at the same time, we do have 10 heat from both these ruby bulbs. Another 4 here. I mean, I'm going to buy it because it is on sale. Now, that is literally 4 mana, which could be dicey. Yeah, that could genuinely be too much for us. As mad as that sounds. I'm going to have to sell it. We're going to roll again. Keep going. Protect Little Purse is amazing because that is going to increase your healing efficiency. Which is going to be kind of smashing, actually. And let's keep rolling. Another Dark Frenzy. Can we afford to take that? I'm not sure if we really can. But we should have lots and lots of heats. So many Dark Frenzies. The thing that would have been amazing is more puzzle bags of love. But we should be able to get, honestly, 8% healing efficiency. Yeah, that's not great. But we really just want to be going turbo heat stacking with our Cupcake Goobert more than anything. But let's see if it's going to be good enough to win out. At least with the red rubies in our helmet, we should have way more heals. We are facing a blood manipulating type build. They do get some healing down on us, but we do still have 33% in the positive, which is amazing. While we still also remove theirs just a little bit. So the vampirism isn't going to do as much. And we're going to get our heat going, turbo speeding, and with our Dark Frenzy, reflect a lot of up lines from the get-go with all our dragons, which is actually amazing, counteracting our opponents by quite a bit. And every time we activate our Cupcake Goobert, we get more heat stacked. But they're dealing some big damage, but we just get there in the end. Now, how much DPS did we manage to get? About 71 DPS, which is not terribly bad. Our opponent did have 50 DPS, which is not bad either. And in terms of heals, we did manage to get about 87 healing per second from our Staff of Unhealing and our Cupcake Gooberts combined together. And then all the rest is just tiny little bits after that. In terms of block, yeah, about 60 block. But yeah, definitely a super fun build, and we did survive with 2 lives left, so let's go ahead and see just how much rank points we managed to get. +9, leaving us back at 90. But anyways, I'm gonna have to leave it here for now. Just want to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, or even subscribe, and I hope you can look up for the next one. I'll see you next time. Okay, we're in some round 18 fights, and we're going to see how we can deal with some other builds. Can our heat stacking, Staff of Unhealing, Cupcake Gooberts be able to outpace this opponent that will be stacking up infinite heat with their flame up also? We're also trying to steal or inflict a bunch of cold on us. But so far, not looking too bad for us. We're getting our heat stacked up, we have crazy blind on us, and it's not going to matter too much. Now, can we deal with a Thornbloom and power stacking type build? They kept their prismatic orbs instead of their wands so they can just start getting their power with their wands. So they're definitely going for max life stacking. But can we outpace them with our builds? Because we got our on healing, we're getting our heat stacked, and it's not looking close whatsoever. And can we deal with Burning Blade dragons? They're going to be going fast. This is where things could get a bit dicey. They also get invincibility, but since we're just healing instead of life stealing, we can continuously heal if they get their invincibility. It is kind of a nice setup. But we just can't deal damage, and that's a bit of a problem for us. But once it does end, we should be able to deal our damage. They're slowly beating us down, but with more and more heat, we're actually healing for more and more, and we do manage to beat them out. Hell yeah! And finally, can we take on the practically large Bloodthorn with infinite lifesteal? But we do have 60% of their healing down, which is kind of awesome, and this is not going to be close whatsoever.